Hi guys, so my journey in magic has been an interesting one. My first magic experience was when I was about the age of 8 years old, and my uncle used to show me magic every weekend, and he used to show me tricks with like coins, thimbles, handkerchiefs. And there's this one trick that really stuck in my mind. It absolutely fried me. I had no idea how he did it. He would put a blue handkerchief into his hand, give a little blow, and believe it or not, it would then start turning red. I had no clue how he was doing it. I always thought he hid one in his hand. He proved me wrong every single time. Then he explained to me that, in fact, there is a blue handkerchief in play. It's just invisible. You can't see it. But it really is here. I'm just going to place it over my arm for now. He explained to me this is how magicians hide things from their audiences. All right? It's just a magical process. For example, the red one, if I tuck it in and pull it out, you can't really see it, but I mean, it is there. It's just starting to turn invisible gradually, and you push it all the way through and it's gone, but it clearly is there. You just can't see it. But all you have to do, he said, is to reverse the magical process, and when you do that, that's when it comes back. And this is how the rabbit in the hat trick is done. The magician will turn the rabbit invisible, place it inside a hat. It would then show the hat to be empty, and then when he wanted the rabbit to come back, he would literally reverse the magical process and pull the rabbit out of the hat. I mean, it's funny once you know the secrets. I mean, it's so simple, he said. Anyway, let's just get rid of that one for now, because we've got this blue one to bring back, as you can or cannot see. We just reverse the magical process, and that's when that one comes back also. So as my passion grew in magic, my uncle brought me to a magic shop called Davenport's in London. And I remember going through the shop door, the little bell ringing as you enter it, and it's a very dimly lit magic shop. I remember the posters on the wall. I remember the props inside the cabinets, each one with their magic and their mystery. This guy called me over to the till, and he showed me and my uncle a fantastic card trick. And to my surprise, my uncle brought me that card trick, and I learned how to do it. And it took me a long time how to do it. And each time I get to perform this trick, it reminds me of these magical times I spent with my uncle. And this is that very card trick. In fact, I'm just going to stand up so you can see what's going on with this. Keep your eye on these 4 jacks, as they're very strange indeed. Because when you turn one over, another one will turn face down, till all 4 are face down. Now, the reason for this is the jacks act in a very mysterious way. It's because they have some sort of connection with each other, and they like to copy what each other is doing. For example, if you turn one face down, all the others will follow suit. How strange is that? Now, the weird thing is, if I was to take one, and place that in my pocket, you will see how it wants to jump back to be with its friends, because they don't like being apart. But what happens to one card will eventually happen to them all. So that's 2 now face up, 3 face up. But then this one I would put in your hands if you was here. Sometimes the jacks, they just like to show off and completely and utterly change colour. So that's 1, 2, 3. And remember what I said, what happens to one jack or these cards will happen to the other. And that's where my mind was blown too. Now, magic, it was a very great distraction for me in my younger years. It kept me out of trouble, for one. I remember going to my local library, and I used to hire out the books. I used to go home and sit there for hours fiddling with like rings and string, trying to perfect their moves and trying to perfect my magic as such. If you was here right now, I'd get you to have a look at this string, and I will get you to have a look at this ring, and you can examine it, and you can thread it on yourself, and you'll realise that no matter how much you tug this string and this ring, it will simply not come off. But the mystery is about finding that sweet spot, and you can just put it off. Getting it back on, that just takes magic. And again, you could examine that if you was here. My mum and dad, they didn't have much money. They couldn't afford to buy me props and such. So I had to kind of make my own. Take, for example, this card box. But along the years I've been doing magic, I'm now able to make these things. And I'm able also to make something out of nothing. Now, one thing I did learn about as well, going through like magic books, is that the magician never, ever, ever gets to pick their own card. It just doesn't happen at all. So we're going to change that up right now. Let's go for this. This will be my mystery card. I'm just going to leave just there. Let's say that's your hand. There you go. You put your hand on that. Now, also, I'd get you to pick a card. So let's go for whatever this is. And I'd ask you to sign your name across it. Of course, I wouldn't know what it is at the time. And then we throw it back in the pack and mix it in. Fantastic. Now, before I do any magic, one thing I like to do is to try and find those 4 aces. So let's go for the black ones. So, oh, look at that. That's the ace of spades. Maybe we got a bit lucky there, I don't know. But that's the ace of spades, which I would drop in their hand. And I'll try and find the other black one, being the ace of clubs. Give or take a few, I believe. Yes, that's the ace of clubs, which I too will place in their hands. Now, the red one's going to be a little bit more trickier. But I believe, that's strange, because these are the 2 black aces, which must mean in your hand would not only be the ace of hearts, but also the ace of diamonds. And at the very beginning, before you sign the card, you place the card in your hand, it would be your sign on the diamonds. How weird is that? Now, I've been quite fortunate along the way. My magic has progressed. I've gotten to perform for some really lovely people at weddings, private parties, even cabaret shows on stage in the West End, which was a really great experience. And I've met some fantastic magicians along the way, and they've taught me some valuable stuff. And this is a crazy card trick that I've learned from one of my friends, and it's just unbelievable, and I would like to show you to that today. So we've already got a signed card here, so I'd have another spectator take one. Probably not that one, because it's got a stick man on it from a trick earlier. But they would take this one, and they would write their names across them. And they can show each other's cards. It really doesn't matter. But we place each one back. Fantastic. In fact, what I should do is separate them because of social distancing and things like that. So you see the cards are totally separated. I'm just going to take 4 cards from the deck. I'm going to stand up for this one as well, so you can see clearly what's going on. Okay, so this is known as the jumping jack of diamonds trick. Because no matter how you go through the cards, jack will always jump to the top. You can put it on the bottom, and yet it will jump to the top of the pack every single time. Look, I'll even try and bury it. And again, it will still come to the very top of the deck. Even if I place it in the middle, we'll just give it a second, and it comes to the top of the deck. What if I place it on the table? Surely it can't be on top, but it really is. So no matter where you place this jack, it always wants to come to the top of the deck. Now, I get accused that maybe I'm using 4 cards the same. And to be honest, you're right, I am, yeah. So that's a 7 of diamonds. In fact, that's 2 7 of diamonds. In fact, that's 3 7 of diamonds. And of course, that's 4 7 of diamonds. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 7 of diamonds. Now the thing is, I've still got your cards to find. So here we have a 6 of diamonds, which would normally be signed. Here we have a signed 9 of diamonds, of course, and which leaves us 2 cards, being a weird signed 6 and a weird 9 of diamonds. So there we have it, folks. Thank you very much for your time. Oh, before we get going, here in the box, always keep a couple of cards as well, which is also your 9 and 6 of diamonds. So, as I said, my magic has progressed over the years. My uncle has passed away many years ago, but I really hope he's looking down and proud about what I've managed to achieve over all these years of doing magic and carried on living the dream of being a magician. Thank you very much for your time. Cheers.